Welcome back, Dota 2 fans. This is Join Dota League Season 4, Europe Division 2. Sharfik sighting was actually able to rejoin his squad here. XZ had to leave. He was replaced by Skeeper, who is also an active member of Synergy. So they do have 3 members of their active squad. XZ is currently missing. He had to be replaced. Fervian and Timble going to stand in for them. So we're just going to pick out these first couple phases as they were and continue on. BBC also has a stand-in. Levi, Weeha, Solitude, and Hockey here. Padrino had to be replaced by a Rise. Very capable stand-in in his own right. Unfortunately, we won't get to see Padrino's Broodmother again, but they do ban it out regardless. So that was actually a ban from the previous draft, which had to be paused for some replacement. I am Maurice Pease, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. This is HeflaTV, guys, and we have Europe Division 2 for you. Balkan Bears, Corleone versus Synergy. Tidehunter, Disruptor, first 2 pickups for Balkan Bears, Corleone. If you watched and followed with the GG League Season 2 earlier today, they picked up those exact 2 heroes in those exact 2 slots for the first 2 games up against Moscow 5 International, of which both they won. So they're going to ban out the PA and the Slark. They've banned out the Slark all 3 games I've cast of them today. So BBC not too privy to wanting to face up against the Slark. Viper, Lycan bans come out from Synergy. Hurrah! The Skywrath Mage. All I do in her name. She's going to be picked up here for Synergy. So we will see Skywrath Ogre, very potent combo in their own right. Good roaming combo. Ignite for the harass early on. A little bit of boots. Orb of Venom would be nice, but that Ancient Seal, of course, buffing up the damage from the Fire Blast. And if the Ogre able to get up an Aghanim Scepter later on, will be damn good. Ancient Seal also synergizes very well with the Plasma Field, which is a nice 300 damage nuke at level 4, increased by, I believe, 45% at level 4. It is for the Ancient Seal. So very nice synergy of the lineup of Synergy, no pun intended, though thus far. But BBC actually going to go for a Witch Doctor here, so something I haven't seen them run in a little while. Obviously, the Death Ward synergizes well with the Static Storm, Kinetic Field combo, as well as the Ravage. So a whole lot of team fight coming out early from BBC. It does make their tri-lane a little bit weak. Of course, the Voodoo Restoration is nice early on, but the Disruptor Witch Doctor combo doesn't have too much reliable lockdown. They are both kind of weak heroes. Witch Doctor has some nice right click early on, but regardless, it doesn't look like they'll be able to go aggressive with this. Elder Titan going to be able to going to be grabbed up, I should say, by Synergy here for the off lane, presumably. And the Magnus going to be grabbed for Weeha in the mid. One would assume Hockey going to be playing on that Tidehunter. Levi probably on his signature Disruptor as well. Those 2 have picked up those heroes, as I said, twice before today. And Medusa going to be the ban here from Synergy. We'll see what the final ban is here from BBC. Generally, you expect them to ban out a safe lane core here, being as the Razor and the ET are pretty much set in their lanes. Of course, Razor can go safe lane at any point and is even a decent offlaner with that unstable current, but you generally will not see him in that role. So eating into their reserve time a little bit is BBC here. Both teams pretty decisive thus far with their picks, almost at max reserve time each. So lot of team fight, big time wombo combo for BBC. They've got the RP into the Ravage, into the Static Storm, into the Death Ward. So if they're able to get up some early blinks on their core heroes, on this Magnus, on this Tidehunter, you've got to be worried for Synergy here. Of course, grouping up and converging on a target does allow for the Earth Splitter and the Echo Stomp to hit, as well as the Mystic Flare, but generally you don't want to see that Mystic Flare split between targets. You really want to use it to pick off a solo target. Ember Spirit is the ban. His brother, Storm Spirit, going to be picked up here by Synergy, and that'll round out their lineup. So it will be a safe lane Viper or a safe lane Storm Spirit. I'm guessing that whoever is more comfortable in terms of Sharfik and the other core in the safe lane will pick up those heroes in whatever manner. Storm Spirit does well against the Magnus mid by virtue of him being melee, but with the changes to the rune and the sustainability of a bottle in this patch, you definitely will see Magnus be able to spam out the wave with his shockwave and get last hits by virtue of the magical damage. So Storm Spirit not quite as effective as he once was against Magnus in the mid lane. Razor does fairly well as well with the range advantage, and of course the static link. And we will see BBC round out their lineup with an anti-mage. They're actually going to let Arise go into the mid. He's very comfortable on this Magnus. I've seen him play it for many teams before. And Weehaw is actually going to pick up that one position anti-mage here. So very interesting stuff. Sharfik is going to pick up his Storm Spirit here. Apathy will take that ET likely to the offlane, and we'll see a Timble over on the safe lane Razor. So the Lightning Revenant gonna go to Timble here. We'll see what Synergy is able to do and how they fare with the limited amount of players from their general squad. They do have 3 here, so the majority is still comfortable, and they have quite the chemistry there. We'll see how they fare. They are 7-3 thus far in the tournament, so definitely nothing to scoff at is this squad for Synergy. And we'll introduce them here. We will have Sharfik, the captain, the standout, going towards the mid lane. He's going to be pulled a couple of tangos, probably rushing that bottle on this Storm Spirit. And we will have Fervian going on the 5 position Skywrath with the 4 position Ogre for Skeeper, as well as Timble playing up on the 1 position Razor. Rounding out the lineup, Apathy going towards the off lane with the ET. He's actually built boots first here, so no components towards what is perhaps a soul ring, but he can build his tranquils pretty early on. He's probably going to get scouted out here by Weehaw. Weehaw does see him, and he was pinged out by Arise there, so they are going to look for a ward at some point. Sentries are here, and they're going to plant it right on this ward. So unfortunately for Apathy, he is not going to have much information in this bottom lane, and therefore they will give the last hit here to Weehaw for Balkan Bears Corleone. That's BBC. We have Weehaw on the anti-mage 1 position. Solitude playing up on the Witch Doctor. He'll be in the 4. Levi once again for the 3rd time today on that 5 position Disruptor. And in the mid, we'll see Arise, the stand-in, on the Magnetor, as well as Hockey over on the Tidehunter in the offlane. Should be an interesting one, folks. Best of 2. This is your first game, JDL Season 4. I am Maurice PC, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, as Apathy has the rune taken and receives a punch in the face from Solitude. So hopefully we'll get to see some look at it go. But later on with that Aghanims, this could do a lot of work coupled with the reverse polarity, as well as the Ravage and even the Static Storm kinetic field. Should be a fairly even mid matchup. Expect Sharfik to slightly win this one. He is a very skilled player, as is Arise, but just having that static remnant spam ability here should certainly help him out. And as you can see, zoning Arise out of lane a bit. Apathy should be okay. The Disruptor, not one of the best heroes at zoning out off laners. He does have that Thunderclap, but generally you don't see Levi skill anything early on this Disruptor, and will often go for that 1-1-1 utility build early on. If not, 0-1-2 is probably the route he will take, or 0-2-1 for that matter. Gonna see some harass boots first on Skeeper. He's gonna stand in man mode up against Hockey, who has level 1 in the Kraken Shell, but does not have a stout shield here. So Skeeper gonna put a lot of right click into him. If he's able to pick up an Orb of Venom very soon, he will be able to easily zone out this Tidehunter, who does have quite a bit of regen, sitting on 6 tangos. Skeeper only has 2, but he's got that base 6 armor against the base 3 armor of the Tidehunter. Apathy contesting a pull here bottom lane, and he's gonna actually last hit with the Spirit. Cast gonna bounce once on him, but he'll be just fine as Weehaw continues to farm in lane. He's gonna blink up towards him, and won't get much else done but some harass on Apathy. In the mid lane, we've got Arise sitting at 6-1 up against the 8-3 of Sharfik. So slight lead for Sharfik at this point, but all things considered, fairly even. Fervian gonna secure the top rune on the Skywrath Mage. He's gonna find a bounty rune for himself. He'll pick that up. Sharfik probably has his bottle coming over at some point pretty soon. Actually sitting on 300 gold right now. So he did bring over a Null Talisman just to win the lane in terms of last hitting, giving him a little bit of extra mana pool there. We do have a courier snipe attempt happening here from Fervian, and the courier is coming out and will be scouted by him at this point. Let's see if he runs down. Levi is available here. One more right click. He's going to find it, And nice play by Fervian. So they do get a bottle taken from Arise, and this is going to secure pretty much a lane win for Sharfik in the mid. Keeper even rotating over. There is an invisibility room for Levi here, but he only has 1 level in Glimpse. And as you can see, that value build, or that utility build from Disruptor that you often see Levi go, is one of the highest win rate builds for Disruptor. All of his spells are pretty mana intensive, but they all have certain use. And the kinetic field especially synergizes pretty damn well with the lineup of BBC at this point. Take a look at the offlaners, see how they're doing right now. We've got Hockey sitting 0-1-2 build, 2 points in that Anchor Smash to mitigate the physical damage coming in from Shkeeper. He's found his level 3, so not doing bad. Only 3 last hits, which is pretty much on par with Apathy, who has also found his level 3. He's gone the 1-1-1 build on the Elder Titan as well, so he's found that point in Echo Stomp, which is certainly considered a value point here. And I have my draft overlay up. What a noob. What a noob. Honest to God. Ban this caster. That's 4 minutes. Sorry about that, folks. But anyways, we'll get back into the game. Sharfik 17-3, 17-2 of Arise at the mid lane matchup fairly even. Bottle has come out now for Sharfik. He's got that advantage as the courier is just respawned here. Is just respawning fairly soon. 40 seconds. Boots need to come out for Arise as well as his bottle and the full magic stick here. So rough times for the Magnetor, but farming fairly well, all things considered. We do have Weehaw free farming in the bottom lane. He's going to put some harass into this tower. Apathy has been able to pretty much stand in lane and posture up and find his farm. He's almost level 4 on this Elder Titan. Elder Titan definitely a hero that benefits more from levels and experience than he does from farm. I feel like Elder Titan's one of those heroes you can pretty much build anything on. You can build the mech, you can build the pipe, you can build the Yules, and they're all pretty useful for him. But more than anything, he needs those levels in natural order as well as the ancestral spirit. So Apathy finding a few last hits here, finding a little more than Hockey at this point, sitting at 7-0 to the 5-0 of Hockey. But Hockey finding a wave under the tower here is pretty much solo up against Timble in this lane. We do have the supports rotating quite a bit from synergy to ensure Sharfik's win of this mid lane, and that early Orchid could pay dividends certainly for synergy if they're able to get it up fairly soon. We do have the courier probably ferrying over some stuff for Arise. He did bring up his full magic stick and wand and boots now, so should be just fine. There is a rotation to bottom lane. Blink forward from Weehaw. He's gonna get glimpsed. Back is the Elder Titan here. Mana Void is cast a little bit early, and Shkeeper might be able to find a return kill. He does. The Ignite is gonna tick out the Witch Doctor, and he will be able to retreat 1-for-1 in the bot lane. But in the meantime, Shkeeper gonna go down mid lane. Looks like he dove Arise. And Arise actually does seem to be the first one to fall. So Shkeeper going to benefit from that experience. He does gain the experience there. A little bit of gold going back the way of Arise's Magnus. But he did submit the first kill. So 2-2 is your score here. 6 minutes into the game. BBC up against Synergy. And Shkeeper going to rotate towards the rune here. Haste rune found by Levi before he could get there. 0-2-1 build for the Disruptor thus far. Getting that extra range in Glimpse is pretty crucial, although they don't have too much lockdown to take advantage of once that hero has been redeemed to their side of the map there. So Levi will posture up in the trees, perhaps look to aggress onto the offlaner Apathy here, but they do have Shkeeper waiting in the wings to reinitiate, and this is pretty strong dual lane here with the natural order. Ogre right clicks pretty darn hard. We see Arise farming up a stack here, or at least stacking up the creeps, and he will be able to get that done actually just a bit late on that stack, unfortunately for Arise. He will be bottle crowing a bit, a little bit of the old meta for him, and we'll rotate down to be a little bit disappointed. Volvo, please fix. I swear I stacked that camp. I'm going to stop cast a shockwave, and he's sitting at 31 last hits to the 35 of Sharfik, so not necessarily too far behind. Apathy has now found his level 5. taking a look at Hockey over here, he has also found level 5.5 roughly. So doing well in terms of levels. Almost has his arcane boots up with 939 gold. And should be just fine. Razor free farming just as Weehaw is. The laning equivalents there pretty much dead even. Midas, however, has been gone for Timble. And Weehaw building straight into that Battle Fury with the early Ring of Health. Sharfik has finally picked up treads, and we do see some other item progression for the team as far as the Midas coming out for the Razor, and the Soul Ring comes out finally here for the Elder Titan, who's been caught out in the river. He's going to get lashed by a kinetic field. He's channeling up the Echo Stomp, but the cast's going to stop that. He's going to try and get uphill. The Shockwave's going to finish him off. Sharfik going to jump in rather overzealously, and he takes out Witch Doctor and Levi with relative ease. With those overload stacks, he's got actually a pretty much unorthodox build on this Storm Spirit. They have the smoked up Skywrath as well as the Ogre. There has an Ancient Seal here. Will they be able to get it off? He does. Concussive Shot as well. Overload stack, and they're going to bring him down with a Fire Blast. And one more right click from Sharkvik. Weehaw blinking in. His blink is on cooldown as he's gone for the max Spell Shield build. And he'll be just fine as the TP rotations do come in from Levi. But a nice couple kills there for Synergy. Sharfik picking up 2. They pick up the 3rd on the Magnus. Ends up being a 3-for-1 with the Elder Titan going down early in the river. So good trade here for Synergy. Take a look at the gold graph. They have amassed a 2,000 gold lead. Experience about the same. So just eclipsing Equilibrium here is Synergy, having a nice start. I think the main point is that this Storm Spirit has amassed quite a bit of gold here. He's got his quarterstaff up already with 500 gold, so can grab a Sage's Mask if he wishes to do so, or a Robe of the Magi on his way to his Orchid. He's going to TP to the top lane, and they're going to look to take out Hockey or bait out a Ravage at the very least, but in a timely manner, Hockey going to rotate downwards towards the Secret Shop, and perhaps look to stack some Ancients here, which can be stacked in about 5 to 7 seconds. So Hockey will look to do that. It looks like Solitude looking to find some farm in the mid lane. He's almost at his level 5 and will probably find it. He's a little worried, as you can see, about the jump from Sharfik, as he is missing from the map currently. Fervian as well as the Elder Titan for the Apathy are guarding this regen rune, and gonna look to put some harass into Arise here. Ancestral Spear gonna scout him out. Ancient Seal, Concussive Shot, Arcane Bolt just gonna go out to harass him, and then they're gonna pick up the rune as well. Sharfik gonna jump down. He's not gonna find anything yet. He's gonna get hit with a cast. Leap forward though, a couple right clicks. He should finish off Solitude with relative ease here, and he does so. Arise is gonna get out, and unfortunately there for Sharfik, he isn't able to make anything else happen, but a nice clean pickup on the Witch Doctor just before hitting his level 5. So very timely pickoff as well. In the meantime, Weehaw as well as Timble pretty much free farming. 73 last hits to the 70 in terms of Timble and Weehaw respectively. And we'll see Weehaw continue to farm up here. He hasn't been contested much, but the Elder Titan for the Apathy has found quite a bit. 1-2-3 build so far on him. And he's got 3 points in that natural order to bring down the resistances and armor of all of BBC's squad, which is going to be very good, as their lineup is contingent on the fact that they need to converge on targets. They need to collapse them into reverse polarities, into Death Wards, into Ravages. So the natural order is going to do quite a bit of work, despite not having the largest radius here. The Midas has already paid off in some respects for Timble here. He's picked up a point booster and has 700 gold, 11.5 minutes to the game. We may see an engagement here bottom. Keeper is going to scout out Weehaw, but Levi hiding in the trees here. May be able to glimpse one back. They're going to scout out Sharfik. He's going to be bloodlusted up. Going to use an Ancestral Spirit for clear vision. He's going to jump in. Static Storm is going to whiff on him. And RP also going to be stop casted by Arise. Has not been used yet. So they find one clean pick. Sharfik hit by the cast, however. And the Mana Void going to finish him off. Earth Splitter going to whiff completely. Keeper and Apathy on the run. And they will find 1-for-1 here. Disruptor goes down for the core Storm Spirit. As you see, 500 gold and experience swing going the way of BBC there. So nice TP rotations from them. Well played by Arise to use the looming threat of that reverse polarity to force all of Synergy back, and yet he still keeps the ult here. However, Fervian here with a Fire Blast as well as the Ancient Seal concussive shot, but Solitude is here with a cask that's going to do some good bouncing between Skeeper and Fervian, and actually the Skewer into RP and the Shockwave gonna finish off the Skywrath Mage, but gonna pay with his life is this Magnus here for a Rise. Hockey does have a Ravage, but he's gonna get chain stunned here, and he's actually gonna pop the Ravage off and walk into a Static Remnant and die. So a little bit of a wasted first use of the Ravage by Hockey. He's gonna go down. Probably could have ravaged and escaped there. Sharfik pretty low on mana, as you can see. So a little bit of a misplay from Hockey there, but 9-6 is your score. Nevertheless, 1,000 experience swing going the way of Synergy. Graphs are a little bit erratic, but nonetheless, Synergy slowly gaining a lead here. And they have their Razor continuously free farming, so if he's able to get up this early Aghanims, he could do quite a bit of work, especially versus this anti-mage. If they are able to lock him down, pretty squishy, only at treads, but he does have his Battle Fury, sub 15 minutes. So Weehaw free farming just as Timble free farming, and pretty much any day of the week you'd rather a free farming AM than a free farming Razor. So Soul Ring Tranquils up here. It looks like the Yules build perhaps for the Elder Titan for the Apathy here, and he will probably build into that Yules for the guaranteed Echo Stomp here. Level 6 found by Solitude. He does have the Death Ward. We've yet to see it be used here as Arise picks up a Bounty Rune. Very interesting question to be posed here, as Skeeper's going to pop a smoke here. They're going to find Weehaw. He still has a blink, but here comes the Electric Overload, Static Remnant, and also the Earth Splitter is there. He does blink out just in time, but the zip forward definitely looks to counter blink in this instance. Maledict drop, but Solitude going to drop quickly thereafter. Actually, a nice skewer back by Arise is only going to delay the inevitable. Sharfik going to go down, though. He's got this negative earn charge on him. He actually zips to the low ground, but the Maledict going to tick him out. And concussive shot as well as the Fire Blast gonna go out onto Hockey. He's been Ancient Sealed up despite having all the mana. Reverse Polarity on 2 by Arise. Nice Shockwave on 2 as well. Mystic for a completely gonna whiff by Fervian, but the Ignite should take down the Tidehunter, and it does, and they have nothing to stop the TP out. A nice play by Skeeper there. Overall, the Anti-Mage goes down. Solitude on the Witch Doctor goes down. The Tidehunter maybe was able to actually TP out there. It seems like he was. And so 2 for 2 overall. Sharfik once again going down. However, before doing so, he pretty much bought all the components to his Orchid. He's just a quarter staff away, so a couple hundred gold for him, and he'll have that ever important Orchid. But meanwhile, Weehaw gonna try and find his farm in the top lane. Looks like he's building into a Manta. Got that first Blade of Alacrity up. Gotta go into a Yasha. Jump forward from Sharfik, however. Pulls him in with the Plasma Field. It's an easy kill. And Weehaw looking to farm the enemy jungle. Perhaps just wrong place, wrong time for him. In the meantime, mid lane being defended by Skeeper, as well as the Apathy on the Titan. And the Kraken Shell, a pretty good spell. So did stop the Ignite from killing him there. Noobcaster, honestly. Flame me in chat. Twitch, Riot. Boots found here. Full Magic Wand. Bracer for BBC. A Solitude. And yet to see the Death Ward usage. He is pretty squishy at this point. With the Orchid, he's pretty much going to be shut down. The Eggs finally does come out here. 16 minutes in. Very good timing for Timble. And he's looking to take down this tower top. Glyph is popped. Hockey is there looking for the deny, and he will be patient enough to get it. Well played by Hockey. Timble trying to pick that off here. Doesn't want to use his first Eye of the Storm just to bring down that tier 1. And we could see Synergy look to ball up here off this pickup. The Orchid is ready. Courier will probably be grabbing this up for Sharfik sometime soon, as it is in base for him. And he does grab the Courier now. Everything else pretty static at this point. Some Ancients being farmed up by the duo of Hockey and Weehaw. Weehaw still a little bit of a ways off of his Yasha. About 400 gold at this point. He does purchase up the recipe and needs another 200 for that Band of Elven Skin. So Blink actually comes out here a little bit late for Hockey, but 17 minutes, better late than never. Meanwhile, simultaneously, the Orchid is delivered for Sharfik. So if they're able to get this Orchid up on the Tide, he's not too tanky at this point. He does have the 4 armor, but is a lot of magic damage output from the Skywrath, the Ogre, as well as the Storm Spirit for Sharfik's squad synergy. And looks like some TPs toward the bot lane. Do we have a smoke on one of these heroes? It doesn't see. Yeah, we do have one on a rise. So 4-man smoke rotation from BBC, and they're going to look to make something happen with this RP. But in the meantime, Weeha's been jumped on mid. He's been orchided up. Echo Stomp going to land as well. He's going to tick down to the Ignite, but meanwhile, Sharfik going to be traded in the Static Storm. Sheeper going to be caught out and body blocked up by Solitude. Looks like he'll go down as well. He will get a waning glancing blow out onto the Witch Doctor as he goes down. Levi gonna have to dodge this Earth Splitter, and it will split up the rest of BBC. They get the Anti-Mage. They lose their Storm Spirit as well as their Ogre, but I think they're willing to take that trade, being as the Orchid did come out. Of course, the gold and experience advantage going in BBC's favor there, but they do bring down that ever-important Anti-Mage, who is 2,000 net worth behind this Razor. And I think the trump card for Synergy is Timble has yet to join a fight. He's the greatest World of Warcraft player you've ever seen, just PvEing it up, fighting these creeps, and he's got 145 last hits at this point with his Aghanims, Treads, Midas, and an Ogre Club up, so well on his way to his BKB. Meanwhile, Fervian going to be caught out in the bot lane to the duo of Arise as well as Weehaw. And jump in though from Sharfik. He's going to Orchid up Weehaw. Fire Blast, Ignite, couple right clicks, and they're going to finish him off once again. Sharfik will just let him tick out so as not to lose his mana here. And 2 deaths within a minute or so for Weehaw here is really not boding well for BBC's chances hereafter in this game. We'll take a look at the metrics here. 4,000 net worth lead generated by Synergy, about the same in experience. Sharfik gonna bait out the glyph here bottom, and we'll just let this siege creep or perhaps Sheeper finish off this tower. One last smack of the club by Sheeper, and he will pick that up. He's got Boots, Soul Ring, and a Staff of Wizardry here, presumably building into the Aghanims. Sharfik gonna jump in mid lane. He's gonna find Levi. Yule's up onto the Elder Titan by Apathy, but a Ravage gonna hit only on Sharfik. Looks like Sharfik will pay for his life, but here comes Timble, the first time he's in the team fight thus far, and he actually will get glimpsed back, it seems, but they'll get this T1 with relative ease, and that Eye of the Storm doing quite a bit of work. Pre-20-minute Orchid, 50 to 60% increase on the win rate for the Storm Spirit. So the job by Synergy that was done by their supports to sit mid, as well as by Fervian to pick off that courier, really ensure that early item progression for the Storm, and it certainly has paid dividends. 12, 5, and 4, highest on the KDA by miles is Sharfik's Storm Spirit right now. Been involved in 16 of his team's 17 kills, as you would expect from a Storm Spirit. Timble finally joining the fray, does find a T1 and a return kill there in the mid. I guess Apathy did get a Yule Scepter up, he did, and he's also building into his next item here, and it looks like a Veil of Discord coming out for him, which is a pretty darn good item for his team. Actually, Sharfik going to jump in top. He's going to get cleaned up by Weehaw, however, with the Mana Void, and he's going to find Fervian. Gush out onto Timble. It looks like Weehaw could even find a triple kill. He's got the Blink forward. Nice Skewer Blink. RP going to be committed as well. Good play by Arise. He needs to use his entire range of initiation there. The Skewer in this direction through the terrain to a Blink RP, and they find Timble there, and that's a big priority kill. He was sitting at in excess of 11,000 net worth, and they do find the kill there. They're going to back off Apathy and Sheeper for now, and it looks like this tier 1 will be their next target of choice. There is rotation available when they are up, but this definitely will go down before respawn timers expire for Sharfik at the very least. So free tier 1 and a couple kills go the way of Weehaw and crew, and the Stomp gonna come out just a fraction of a second late here for stopping Weehaw's TP, but regardless, Yasha picked up 2,200 gold, just bought the ultimate orb for Weehaw here. Does he have the recipe for this Manta. No, just the orb coming out thus far. Sharfik going to jump in bot lane, pick off Levi once again, and he's absolutely just been food for this Storm Spirit here. Bloodstone would have been a nice pickup for him. He's got 14 kills, 6 deaths, but he may be caught out here. Going to be able to see a blink forward, perhaps just some right clicks from Weehaw to try and drain some of his mana. Nice ball lightning to avoid that right click there. Will they find Sharfik? He's going to zip down to the low ground, and he'll find a haste rune. Actually, Arise going to miss on the rune. Gets Ancient sealed up. Gets the skewer off before the seal, however, and will retreat to safety. Excuse me there. Eul Scepter picked up by Sharfik here. A little bit odd build for the Storm Spirit. Does give him some extra MS, which doesn't really synergize well with the ball lightning, but it allows him to control up another target, so he can go for solo picks even when there are 2 targets. So pretty interesting build there. Also another setup for the Stomp, another setup for the Mystic Flare combo, as well as what the Ogre has to offer there in terms of his disable. So looks like we will see the T1 here aggressed on by BBC, or they will think better of it. They don't have their Witch Doctor with them. Currently 4 of them in the bot lane. Solitude is visible in the mid lane, finding some farm with 2 Bracer build thus far. He needs his level 11, and I think they're prioritizing that at the current moment. And we take a look at the hero level chart, and we do see Solitude pretty low down there. Fervian is low as well, sitting on level 9, but they do have the level 2 ultimate for the multicast, which is pretty damn useful here. It looks like we've seen Weehaw catch up quite a bit, however, to the Razor of Timble, and actually has surpassed him on the net worth chart. So excellent play by Weehaw. That double kill in the top lane, or being involved in those kills, certainly helped him out in terms of farm. We'll see how Sharfik is able to utilize this Eul Scepter. We will see a 4-man smoke rotation. They will bait out the anti-mage in the top lane. I'm sure Synergy is pretty well aware of this. They will ping out the current area of the jungle where they may be located, as there's no one else visible on the map at this current moment. Apathy gonna try and find a Eul Scepter on Weehaw. Is he able to initiate? He is. The Spirit is gonna be a little bit late though, and Weehaw can definitely blink out. Echo Stomp is there. Actually, Ravage goes in, hits on 4. Death Ward drops. Timble's gonna go down early despite the BKB. Apathy is next to fall. Levi gonna be picked off once again by Sharfik. He's gonna be able to do work. He brings down Arise as well. Weehaw going after Skeeper in the backlines. Is Sharfik able to pick off the Witch Doctor? It doesn't seem so. He's going to bottle up in the backlines. He's got a Eul Scepter available. He does use it. He doesn't dodge the Anchor Smash, however, and he's going to try and zip away rather than dropping a Static Remnant and an Overload, and he will fall here to the Gush and one last right click. In the meantime, Skeeper drops to Weehaw. He's sitting at 17, 18 health. The Voodoo Restoration bringing him up, and we won't see Apathy get in range for a Spirit there, unfortunately for him. So they make it out there. 5 plus buyback here by Apathy. 5 for 2. Excellent trade for BBC in the top lane. They're going to drag these graphs right back in their favor. Weehaw surviving is absolutely huge there. He's got a casual Vit booster up on top of his Manta as well as his Battle Fury. And the Force Staff now picked up for Hockey. He'll have the ultimate mobility build with the Blink as well as the Force. And as you see, drag back right towards equilibrium is the net worth chart. Experience actually slightly going in BBC's favor here, and that, as I mentioned before, that free farming Razor just not quite as valuable as that free farming anti-mage. Granted, we did see Timble get caught out a bit. He died very early to that Death Ward despite being pretty tanky, sitting at 1900 HP, and so we did not definitely not get to see the full brunt of that Eye of the Storm in the fight. And just purchasing up that BKB, he was not able to buy back into that engagement. So unfortunate for Synergy there, just the timing of everything. Very nice Ravage initiation by Hockey, landing on 4. Ancient farming gonna be done here by Weehaw as well as Hockey. Hockey has more or less all he needs at this point. Perhaps could go for the refresher, perhaps a pipe for the team. I don't believe they have one quite yet, and they do not on the side of BBC. So pipe would be very good up against the lineup of Synergy, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Tidehunter build it. You see any item progression for Levi? No, he's died quite a bit. but that Static Storm will be level 2 fairly shortly, so that will be definitely a boost to the team fight of BBC. We will see the smoke rotation through their own jungle from BBC here, and we can't find a Yule's Scepter game on the Storm Spirit. No surprises there. Sharfik actually going to zip out with a regen rune in a very timely manner, so fortunate for him he doesn't get caught out from the smoke. Would have been a very high priority target, and they're looking to chase down Weehaw on this anti-mage. Will Keeper find him? He does have a Force Staff here, and he's actually going to drop the Fire Blast on one of the Manta illusions as he backs off. Doesn't want to lose too much of his mana, so Sharfik is in the enemy jungle now. Clear vision. He's going to scout out Levi here. He's going to go for the pick. Does he have enough? RP is available here. He's going to use himself trying to dodge it, but he pretty much sets himself up for an RP there. And 3 ultimates committed. Static Storm going to keep him in place. Levi even going to survive. And the Death Ward finally committed for the second time. And the BKB potentially being built here by Solitude. Probably would have went for the point booster had he wanted to go Ags first. Since he already had the 2 bracers, and the point booster gives quite a bit of health. That is definitely comparable to that of the Ogre Axe. So looks like we'll see a BKB from him. Arise picks up a BKB as well, and you certainly see the potency of BKBs in this game, especially for BBC. Pretty much the entire lineup of Synergy is based on magical damage, except for the right clicks that are amplified by natural order, and of course the Eye of the Storm, which is physical damage that goes through magical immunity. So Weehop gonna find a free tier 2 top. There's no glyph available here, and he's actually gonna miss the last hit. He will get used up and stomped here, however, and there will be not much follow-up. Yeah, the static link will be there for the duration of the sleep, but he should be able to blink away to safety. Ancient Seal concussive shot is a little late here, unless Fervian walks around the corner, and he does find him where with a concussive shot, but the Manta is going to get popped, and the Mana Void instantly drops the hammer for Weehaw. Very good reactions from him, despite having 84 less damage than usual from that static link. He rips through the Skywrath Mage and sends him back to the Ghastly Eerie. So we will see the Balkan Bears Corleone aggress onto the tier 1 mid. They should get this with relative ease. Not sure that they have the wherewithal to contest this. However, they do have the BKB up. The Fire Blast goes out onto Weehaw as well as the Ignite, but just a little bit of harass done there. He's just going to stand in man mode up against this tower. Plasma Field is going to hit him as well. He's got this Heart of Tarrasque already though, so he'll just disengage, regenerate back up, let them use up their mana, and go right back into the fray. Sharfik bloodlusted up on the sidelines. I don't think he's got Vision of Arise. He's actually just on the cusp of the vision, and he does jump forward, but he just gets fogged at the last moment and isn't able to grab that electric overload, or a vortex I should say, on Arise. So pings out looking for a D ward or A ward for Arise on the Roshan Cliff. And Roshan not going to be touched by either team thus far. 30 minutes into the game. A nice little gold lead here for BBC. We will see the Yules up by the Apathy here, and Static Storm is dropped, however. It's going to hit on him. Ravage is only going to hit on the ET, and Solitude going to be chased down. Meanwhile, Apathy going to survive. Mystic Flare is going to get forced away. Skeeper's going to go down, and the Earth Splitter is going to completely whiff. Timbo has to turn tail here. Manta grabbed up here by the Anti-Mage. They're chasing down the Razor, but he's too damn quick. And actually, they will pick him off with the Mana Void here. In the meantime, Sharfik trying to zip around, trying to find a kill on Levi. He won't be successful in doing so. And triple kill going the way of Weehaw there, as he does bring down the Storm Spirit. A little bit of hectic fight there. Wanted to see that Razor going down. My apologies for the camera work on that one, boys, but nonetheless, a nice engagement there for BBC. Apathy looking to go in with that Yule Scepter initiation, and is unsuccessful in doing so as he walks right into the face of the full lineup of BBC. Arise going to get slept up by the Echo Stomp, unable to skewer back the ET here. But it's only going to delay the inevitable, which is the tier 2 tower going down for Synergy. They've only got one outer tier tower left in the mid lane, and have been able to bring down all the tier 1s of Synergy at this point. But we will see if Synergy will retreat into the Roshan pit It doesn't seem like they are too willing to jump into the pit yet. They are against a pretty good pit fight team in the Razor as well as the Elder Titans. So Weehaw going to continue to farm 3,700 gold on him. He's picked up his Basher, can grab up the Relic after this Ancient stack, and probably will see him shop. There's an Abyssal. 32 minutes into the game, Manta Heart, Battle Fury, Abyssal. This is a fat anti-mage, 9k net worth above the next closest contender, which is Timble's Razor. And really, after not being involved all early game, Timble has been nothing but underwhelming. Stomp is going to land despite the Force Staff here. Orchid goes out onto Weehaw, but he's just going to look to man up on this Storm Spirit. And with that Spell Shield, he's extremely tanky here. Abyssal's up Sharfik. One more right click will kill him off. He sends in the Illusions to do his dirty work, but Arai is going to finish him off with a Shockwave. We see a Skewer forward. RP's not going to hit, though. They're going to pick off Fervian, and Timble does have the BKB up, but Maledict ticks. One Cask as well as the Shockwave. They should pick him off here. Gush is going to finish him off from Hockey, and they're going to bring back the ET. They're actually going to use the Ravage for this. Why the hell not? Celebratory Ravage. GG called by the Apathy. That's game 1 for BBC. Second time today that GG have been called before they even break base for them. So looking pretty sharp despite Weehaw dying early on. He recovered extremely well in this game on the anti-mage. Given complete free farm, although he died a couple of times, 200 last hits within the first 15 to 20 minutes. He had a Battle Fury sub 14 minutes on that anti-mage, which accelerated his farm. GG to both teams. That was a first game of Best of 1. I'm Orange Peas, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. This is HeflaTV. My apologies about the overlay. What a noob. Don't follow me on Twitter at MRP_Dota. Don't flame me in Twitch chat. And we will be back fairly soon. Should see the lobby opening up real soon here. Sharfik is suffering from a little bit of illness, so I'm sure he wants to get these games over and done with. Did play very well on that Storm Spirit, however. I believe he was something like 12-4 early on that Storm Spirit, so did all he could, but the BKBs began to come out for BBC, and that was more or less the turning point in that game. So thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back shortly with your next game in the best of 2 here for the JDL season for Europe Division 2.2. We do see BBC that will take them to 8-1 overall in the division and drops Synergy to 7-4. Synergy still in second place. BBC, of course, that makes them first. So they've looked really sharp thus far in the JDL and will look to move on and finish off this game. They went 2-0 earlier in a best of 3 in GG League Season 2 earlier today. Hopefully they can, for their sake, they can go 2-0. Beating up Synergy in the JDL. So be back real soon, guys. Thanks for joining us. Have game 2 up in just a moment.